Right, I'm joined at the Welcome Tavern by Christine, who is Amber Radio's paranormal expert, because I haven't got a clue, and Dave just waffles on most of the time when he tells me stuff. So Christine's here to explain all about the paranormal and to tell us a little bit about herself. So, how did you get involved, Christine?
Well, I never believed in it. I was always a skeptic.
Right.
Until, unfortunately, I lost my husband.
Yeah, yeah.
I then went to see some spiritualists.
Right.
Spoke to a medium. And I actually was gobsmacked at what he told us.
Right. Did you, just speaking about going to see the spiritualist and the medium, was that because you wanted to make contact with your husband, or?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You felt that that was the way that
and
you
he did
go.
that, I think.
Yeah.
So I went, and he did set out to do me cards.
Right. Yeah.
Tarot cards.
Yeah.
But he said he couldn't read them because he had a lady screaming at him.
Right.
And he did ask if my mum had passed, and I went, yeah. I says, but that's a 50-50 question, really.
Of course it is. Yeah.
And he says, you asked her to take Alan and look after him, didn't you? We could pick us up off the floor.
Yeah.
Because nobody knew. I thought, how did he know that?
Yeah.
Because that was between me and Alan's mum.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So it was Alan's mum rather than your mum?
Rather than my mum.
Right,
I mean, my mum had passed as well.
Yeah.
But he didn't know it was going to be Alan's mum. He had a motherly figure.
Right,
so
he just had somebody
was
mother.
mine, yeah. And I did say to him, you asked your mum, and I went, no.
Yeah.
And he says, you did? I says, no.
Yeah.
So I had to sort of explain to him, it
wasn't
wasn't my mum, it was Alan's mum. So,
which technically was your mother-in-law, so technically he was right, wasn't he?
Yes.
I said it was your mother, yeah.
So as I say, got that bit done. She was thanking us for looking after Alan for the past 6 months because he was dying anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
so it was something that was expected?
It was expected,
he didn't like sort of die in a horrible car accident or something like that?
No,
it
was expected.
Right.
Just it was lingering. And he didn't want to linger.
Right.
You know. So as I say, I'd got out one night and I'd said, oh, will you please just take him and look after him?
Right.
So I thought, well, the medium couldn't have known that.
Yeah.
You know? And then he proceeded to say,
so this was after he passed, that you asked his mother to look after him?
Yes, because obviously she had passed as well.
Yeah.
You know, so...
No, just what I meant was it was after he passed. It wasn't like you were saying because he was in a lot of pain that you wanted his mother to come and take him. Right.
Well,
he'd already passed.
No, he was actually still alive.
Oh, so it was a case of you.
Pain.
It was a case of you saying to his ma, "Come on,
just
take
come
him."
and look after him, you know.
Yeah. Which must have been really hard because that's an horrendous thing to think. You know, that you want your loved one to go. You know.
Yeah, but when you can see them disappearing in front of your face every day.
No, I fully get where you're coming from.
It's not a very nice thing.
And that's what I mean. It must have been an horrendous thing. When I say horrendous, I don't mean horrendous as in, you know, you were being horrendous. I mean it's an horrendous thing to say for you because you know you're wanting that loved one to go because you can see the pain and suffering that that person's going through.
That's right. So as I say, you got that right, and you did see Alan said to us to say to you, Yuri Geller. Does it mean anything? So of course I just burst out laughing.
See,
I went, yes.
I can't stop laughing I can't stop laughing when somebody mentions Yuri Geller. He just has that effect on me. He's got to sue me, isn't he? Because he's doing everybody else.
I've got the legal department on the phone.
Yeah, exactly. That wouldn't surprise me.
So anyway, he said, Yuri Geller, and he said, does it mean anything? I went, yes, it does. And that's from years and years back.
Right.
He was on TV.
Right.
He was having a break during the show, and he says, if you've got a broken watch, get it, and I'm going to fix it.
Right, yeah.
So
as usual, like sort of...
Off toddled Alan to go get this watch. And he had to sit with his hands like that.
Yeah.
But
it's all to do with the static electricity, isn't it? That's how he restarts watches. But he says it's all this psychokinetic energy. But it's all this static electricity. That's why they stick them next to the TV or put them
Funnily
in their
enough,
hands.
Alan
or
used
they-
to stop watches.
Yeah. Yeah, because of the...
Couldn't wear a watch. He actually had to
Yeah.
eventually end up with a military strap.
Yeah.
So it wasn't actually touching his skin, you know.
Because I actually have so much static electricity that it recharges me watch. So I'm the opposite of
Right.
what Alan would do. If I put a watch on that's dead, then I'll actually
You can
recharge
restart it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's my superpower.
Paddy power.
Way.
So anyway,
the legal team didn't like that one either. Can't say paddy power.
Yeah. Not to do with me.
That would do me.
Yeah. There is other betting forums out there.
Hey dear. Sorry.
so
Trying to be
anyway,
serious here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
he didn't fix the watch anyway, so never mind. And I thought, I'm really definitely interested in this now.
Right.
You know,
Because
there's,
of what
there's
this,
got to be
because
something.
of what this medium had said to you.
Well, yes, because
Yeah.
there was nobody else knew.
Yeah.
You know, and one was that far back in my mind.
Right.
You know,
So you
'cause
had no connection to this medium. There was no way this medium could have known this.
no, it was the first time I'd ever seen
Right.
him.
Right.
First time I'd ever seen
Right.
him.
And obviously you went to see him because you wanted to make contact with Alan, or find out that he was safe and well. Whatever.
Yeah, and it was actually my sister. She lives in independent living, which used to be like sheltered house.
Right. Yeah.
And they had actually invited some mediums there
Right.
to like do a demonstration
Yeah.
for them, you know.
Yeah.
And she phoned us and said, "I know it's only 5 weeks since Alan's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
Would you like to come?"
Yeah.
And I went, "Well, I might as well, you know."
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up there. So anyway, after that, I thought, I need to get something done. So I was on Facebook, and I found
Did he
this.
charge much, this medium? My next sort of statement is the reason why I'm asking. Is I picked 4 women up in my taxi the other night who'd been to see a medium, and they would charge £45 each for an hour's reading.
No.
Ah,
Nowhere near
yeah.
that. And what he was charging for, he actually passed on to Help for Heroes.
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah.
I was quite happy with that.
Yeah.
Quite happy.
Because that's the problem with mediums, and that is these people who, like this, the lady who was charging £45 each person, you know, that they're fleecing people, and the women said that she told them nothing that they didn't already know,
Yeah.
or that they couldn't have known from somewhere. But so yeah, but this one obviously was
Genuine.
Yeah.
Yes, genuine. So I went on Facebook, found a paranormal group
Yeah.
called Coast Northeast.
Right.
That's who I go with.
Right.
First time I just,
So was there many years ago?
on each hunt, there's about anywhere from 25 to 30 people.
Right. So it's quite a few.
Quite popular, yeah. And I mean, after Alan died, I never used to go anywhere.
Right.
You know, so this was a way of getting
This was
us out
like-
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
You know, getting
Yeah.
into people. And I just used to watch through Facebook what people were putting on, where they'd been,
Right.
what had happened, and I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
oh, I wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah.
Contacted them, said I would like to come, but I've got nobody to come with.
Yeah.
And they said, come on your own.
Right.
We're a friendly group, you'll be made to feel welcome.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, I was looked after. There was another member of the group took us under our wing, and I stayed with her all night.
Yeah.
So we were busy going round, and I heard bangs, knocks, things like that, and I'm thinking, well, I'm still not sure.
Yeah.
And then we come to use this planchette.
Yeah. What's a planchette?
Piece of wood with wheels, with a pen through the middle.
Right. See, I knew that, but the listeners probably didn't. Yeah, I know that because 30 seconds ago I was explaining. Well, it was a little bit more than 30 seconds ago, but I was just explaining that to earlier on.
He's
So,
cheating again.
yeah. Well, of course. Yeah. Anything for the win.
So we were using this planchette, and I couldn't believe the way it was moving.
Right.
You know, there was just 3 girls on,
Right.
and it was moving.
Right.
And I did say to the team leader, I says, what would happen if we changed the girls for the boys?
Right.
And he said, well, why don't we swap over and try it?
Yeah.
So we did, and the boys got no action.
Right.
Didn't move an inch.
Standard Saturday night, isn't it, Paddy?
Yeah, I was going to say that. Story of my life.
So anyway, we swapped back over, the girls went back on, and it was moving again, and it actually started drawing what I thought was fingers.
Right.
And then it started to draw, we thought it was a flower on a stalk.
Right.
But somebody came up with a bright idea, because at the time we were at the Theatre Royal and they were just putting on the production of Mary Poppins.
Oh, right, yeah.
And she says, that could be a chimney sweep's brush.
All right, instead of a flower.
And I went,
yeah.
oh, and I says, those fingers could be the chimney tops,
Right.
you know, the stalks.
Yeah.
And it started going mad. So
Right.
you say, well, yes, you're right, you know.
Right. I was going mad saying, no. I was going fingers in a flower.
But we thought, brilliant.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, we'll put some music on,
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah.
Put a couple of songs on from Mary Poppins, and it was just moving.
Mm.
Put, I don't know whether if you can remember when.
Was it at the Theatre Royal, did you say that you were doing it? Or
Was at the Theatre Royal
Right,
in Newcastle. In the film where all the sweeps are on the rooftop,
Oh, yeah. Chim,
and they're singing Step in Time,
chim.
I think it is.
Is it
Step in Time?
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought Step in Time was the one with the bamboos. Isn't that Chim Chimney Roo that they do on the roof? I've got no idea.
I'm sure it's Step
I
in
can't
Time.
remember, where's our musical expert?
I was going to say, where's our musical expert?
So anyway,
Whatever it was, anyway.
we'll
Yeah.
put that on,
Yeah.
and it just went absolutely out of control.
Right.
It was as though it was moving in time
Right.
to the music,
Right.
you know, and
Stepping in
I
time.
thought, right, okay. Got off my chair, had a look, was looking underneath for magnets, strings, whatever.
Yeah.
Couldn't find a thing.
Right.
Couldn't
So
find a thing.
you were looking to make sure that there was nothing
Nothing there.
that could affect it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because obviously I thought, well, if there's something there,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be paying money to come on a ghost hunt.
Yeah, of course.
For it to
of
be
course.
rigged,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, of course.
And I've been on quite a few since.
Right.
and-
And have you used the planchette and whatever you see?
Oh yeah, quite often.
Yeah, yeah. And
Quite
do you get a
often.
similar result, or does sometimes you
It all
don't get anything
depends.
at all?
Sometimes they decide they don't want to play,
Right.
and they're not going to bother.
Right.
You know, but I mean, we use all sorts of different equipment.
Yeah, yeah.
Crystals, EMFs, key
Right.
tuned things like that.
Right.
Um,
So how does the crystal work? Because I know you mentioned it earlier on. And we know what an EMF is. Unbelievable. But how does the crystal work?
it's just a crystal on a chain.
Right.
Put the chain over your finger,
Right.
keep your hands still,
Yeah.
and you just ask the spirit to show you the sign for yes.
Right.
And sometimes it goes back and forward, sometimes
Right.
it goes round and round, sometimes it can go anti-clockwise. And then you ask, obviously,
Because you can do that with a pregnant woman as well, can't you? With a crystal, you can stick a crystal over the pregnant woman, and if it circles, it's a boy, or if it circles, it's a girl. If it swings backwards and forwards, it's a boy, or something like that. I can't remember the exact thing. I mean, I did it to Aaron's mum, and I think it was wrong. I think it said it was supposed to be a girl.
Is that
and it
not
was
using your wedding ring?
I've got no idea.
There's one way you can use your wedding ring. but you can-
Whatever it was, I did, and it was wrong because it said Aaron was going to be a girl, and sometimes I wonder, but no, he was definitely a boy.
Oh, okay.
and as I say, just ask questions.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only get sort of yes and no answers
Yeah,
to that,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah,
You know, but if you do find something, then you can maybe push
So-
the next question.
Because I was just about to say, because it's a yes and no, how do you know what question to ask?
It's mainly just questions that you obviously,
Yeah,
are you male, are you female,
yeah, yeah.
did you live here, did you work
Right,
here, things
right.
like that.
It's like a bit of a game of yes, no.
Right.
You know, when you sort of what's that kids game called where you select your animal, vegetable,
Animal,
mineral?
vegetable, mineral.
So what,
isn't
I
it?
can't remember what that game's called.
No idea.
Oh, I used to play one.
I was thinking of Guess Who, but that's a completely different thing.
No, that is.
Have you got a beard?
No, but
You
it's,
can ask that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
it's just that it's like asking questions, yes, no,
Yeah,
and it's sort of, you know, it's sort of, you get a response through the crystal,
right, right,
so it's quite interesting,
right,
quite an interesting experiment.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's sometimes what we use. It's,
Right, so you said the crystal EMF, what was the other thing?
key tube.
A what?
A key tube.
A K2. That's a mountain, isn't it? What, you take a mountain, are you?
It's not, it's an electrical field. I'm trying to think off the top
It's
of
to
my
do with electricity. You
electrical,
can
electrical field. Leave that
electrical
one.
energy.
Give us 2 seconds, I shall consult
Right.
the oracle.
Yeah, good idea. Because I haven't got a clue. Like I say,
It's actually, it's got
K2
lights
to
on
me is a mountain.
basically. Starts off at
Oh, it's
green.
got lights on
It's
it?
got lights on it.
Whoa, I sound like, I like the sound of that. I like that.
And if there's something there that can move the lights.
Right,
Again, usually in response to yes and no questions.
right, right.
Because that's all you can sort of get from
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I think the only way you're actually going to get anything to hit is by EVP.
Right.
That's the only way you
What,
can actually
what's
get
an EVP?
electronic voice project.
Phenomenon.
Phenomena.
Electric voice phenomenon.
Electronic voice phenomenon.
So,
Phenomenon. I can't even say
so
it
what's that?
today.
Is that when a voice is actually heard?
Yes.
Yeah, what sometimes happens is you'll have something like a white noise or something like that, and you'll
Right.
have like a digital voice recorder,
And then you hear somebody,
Yeah.
hello,
and then
in the
you'll
background.
ask a question,
Yeah,
and then obviously you can't hear it, but sometimes depending on what type of recording device you've got, you can actually pick things up.
right.
It used to be, it was first started off with the cassette tapes.
Yeah,
back
yeah,
in the, back
yeah.
in during the 70s and 80s, they used
Yeah.
to use them. When they bought the
Yeah, because we
cassette-
discussed them and like the Enfield Hortons and stuff like that, didn't we? About
Yeah.
how they recorded the voices and whatever.
So it just sort of, sometimes it's actually in the white noise, the hissing,
Right.
you'll actually hear the voice in.
I've actually heard that, not in real life, but like used in films where it's like, shh, and then you hear, I'm going to kill you, or something like that, you know.
Yeah, like K2.
Because obviously, you know, it's always something nasty in the
Well,
Hollywood films, isn't it?
sometimes you just get yes and
We
no
all
responses.
float down here and all that.
The K2 meter is an EMF meter. It's a slightly different meter to the Gauss meter, which we've got with us this evening, and it's
It's slightly different to a what meter?
our Gauss meter, which is
Gauss meter.
Gauss meter, which is the one we showed you before.
Yeah,
which
but
is
what's a
one-
Gauss meter? What does it
That
mean?
one that detects electromagnetic
But
frequency.
what is the Gauss bit? Is that just the type
It's
it
just
is?
the type of meter
Right,
it is.
right.
There's a K2 meter, there's a Gauss meter.
Ah, so they're both EMFs.
Yes. Both EMF readers, and this one's done instead.
One's is one with the needle and one with the light.
Yes, the Gauss meter is the one with the needle, the K2
Right.
is the one with the light.
Right.
There you go.
There you go. Hey, I knew we'd get there again.
Always do.
So yeah, so you've used all this equipment, and
Yeah.
and have you heard any voices or
Unfortunately, no.
no?
Not yet.
Right.
I'm still waiting.
You're still waiting for that voice.
I'm still waiting, yes.
Still waiting for the hello, Steve. Coming through, yeah. But you're getting readings on the EMF and the
Yes,
crystals
yeah.
and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got one before. in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
lobby.
You were saying earlier on when I was talking to Jeff that you got one from World War II soldier.
Yeah, that was with the crystal.
Yeah.
The
Oh, you're talking
Gauss,
about with
the
the
Gauss
EMF.
meter,
Right,
the
right,
needle.
right.
I actually got a reading in that room.
Is that the same room as the soldier or?
Yes,
right,
same room.
Right. So you wouldn't be able to
I
tell whether it
hadn't-
was the
you
same
couldn't know.
person or not. Yeah.
No. What was strange about it though, I had it at a certain level.
Right,
I went down to the floor and the needle
Right.
dropped back to 0.
right,
I went higher up
yeah,
and the needle was on 0.
right,
Came back
Well,
down
you
to where
just
I
at one
was
level.
and the needle was so far
right,
across.
right,
And I tried it side to side,
yeah,
both 0.
right.
So it
So
was
it's like
just in
something
this
as if it
one
was floating.
position, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Very interesting, yeah. Because I mean, obviously we'll be going and having a wander around and playing with the EMF, unbelievable. And the K2, climb every mountain. And
It's starting to get a bit weird.
I'm going to be
See what we
hearing
do.
this in me sleep.
Yeah, it's earworm time.
exactly, yeah. Earworm. No, don't talk to me about earworms. Are they paranormal? So So what sort of things, I mean, you say you've heard noises and you've had crystals and things like that.
Yeah.
You obviously told us in the last show about your body bag experience.
Yeah.
So with that experience, did that frighten you?
No.
So you're more than happy to go back and do the same thing
Yeah.
again and whatever. Because tonight we're going to use you as a trigger again, aren't we? Because we're going to stick you into a room where there is said to be paranormal activity, and we're going to record you whilst you're in there, and you know, because Christine's just a glutton for punishment, and we're going to see obviously if we can get something caught on both camera and. Are we going to have the EMF in there with it?
Yeah, we're going to have any of the equipment that Christine wants. We'll give her the equipment.
Right,
so,
and we're also going to have like lasers on the door so that we know if anybody interferes with the experiment, tries to cross the line.
Yeah.
And whatever. Yeah. Right. What you doing? So you're good to go, Christine?
Oh, definitely are.
You're looking forward to it.
Raring to go.
Well, I think that's unless you've got anything else you want to add to that, Christine. I think we're getting what we need. So we shall. I mean, I'm going to have a chat with Aaron, our cameraman, but and then we'll obviously have a wander around and lock you away.
Lovely.
Thanks very much, Christine. Thank you.